Guys, and welcome back to the Perfect World Masters NA qualifiers. We've got ourselves game 2, although it looks like the admins messed up and it looks like game 1. This is in fact game 2 between DC and Rattletrap, as DC just mercilessly stomped Rattletrap in game 1. It wasn't even close. We'll see if Rattletrap can get anything together for this here second game. I'm Mike Loris, going to be joined by Kefka for the second game. Is it cheese time? Is it time to pull out something a little bit weird?
I think you can, but mainly I think you want to draw stronger lanes. I think that's the main thing. Draft a bit more flexible. Don't lock yourself in an Omni Knight, and you can pick like Zenking, like they did. Zenking Akira is fine, but really focus on having stronger lanes, and Necrophos is a good start to reaching a goal like that.
10 seconds remaining.
Being able to go mid lane, go safe lane. We've seen a couple of teams go in Necrophos off lane as well. Again, flexibility at a premium here, and we have seen Necrophoses get stomped in lane, but those situations are much more rarer than the ones where we see Necrophos having just a perfectly reasonable time, gets his farm and whatnot. This is going to be maybe a little bit of a difficult Necrophos game. It's not going to be up against easy matchups. DC pick up two heroes that are very frequently seen up against Necrophos. Mana Burn, that Ice Blast, it's not fun, man. A Necrophos with no mana is not a useful hero.
I mean, he got hard countered already with the two of the most annoying heroes he can play against.
5 seconds remaining.
If not just straight up the two most annoying. Like, there aren't many heroes that are as good as those two against Necrophos, especially having like a Nyx that's flexible as well, an AEA, one of the stronger laners, and he's also like, you know, he can play safe lane solo, he can also play tri lane aggro, so he's pretty fearsome in that regard. You like suddenly they plus pick a range hero and they go aggro tri lane, and you're like, oh, we can't lane against that.
And it really will depend on what lane Rattletrap is going to field, what kind of supports they're going to be able to pick up here. Lich is banned out, Venomancer, Shaker, and just a lot of potential support hate coming out of these bans, which is understandable. I mean, you know, for sure, it seems like supports are, especially 4-position supports, are going to be most sought after. And well, there it is, another one of those premium supports from the Rattletrap side. Is probably not going to be able to like deter that lane entirely from DC, that offensive lane, but it is definitely a hero that can get in those fights and at the very least buffer for the Necrophos if he is aggressed upon.
I like Spirit Breaker. I think it's a pretty good hero here. I like Spirit Breaker especially against AAA, because AA generally plays, you know, like if they push, if you play like AA as some kind of like the 5 hero that doesn't do anything except send ultimate across the map, you know, for the team fight. He's a lot of times not in the team fight. And then Spirit Breaker like, oh, the AA is up here, they probably come for team fight, and I charge the AA and I'll kill him, and then you can take the team fight after that, and stuff like that. And so I like it a lot. And I was thinking they could have picked Oracle, because Oracle is kind of interesting against AA, where if you time the ultimate properly, you can actually heal after, you know, and you have Necro, so it's kind of a interesting combo, but it's very gimmicky at the same time. And I mean, I think maybe that's what they should be going for. Gimmicky is kind of like a good thing for Rattletrap against an opponent like DC. So I wouldn't have minded too much, even though maybe generally I wouldn't like it.
10 seconds remaining.
It's something that when it works, it seems really powerful, but making it work is just so challenging that it's usually not quite worth the effort. I feel like if they do pick up a hero like that, then the aggressive power of DC is just going to be stepped up a little bit more, since Oracle is, yeah, an absolute monster when he's actually got some levels and when the laning phase kind of dissolves. But as far as very early game fighting, Purifying Flames, Fortune's End, it can work out well sometimes, but you definitely need the right type of hero lineup in order to make those spells work and get those burst kills. Use the Purifying Flames as a nuke, make sure the enemies don't get any healing off of it. Again, a lot of things have to go right for that to really find success, but now we got the cores going to be taken out. Nature's Prophet banned out, as well as that Bloodseeker, Batrider, and of course that Respect Meepo ban. From the Rattletrap side, DC can actually just pick whatever the hell they want right now, and it's going to be a hero, a little bit of tower destruction, and a little bit more pressure as they are going to shift Nyx Assassin towards that solo lane role.
Yeah, hopefully he will skill dual breath level 1 this time. But I do think the Yakiro and Nyx are still interchangeable, potentially, but most likely it's gonna be an offlane Nyx. And there could be a Yakiro aggro with an aggro tri-lane is still doable, even though I think Yakiro is kind of bad with AA specifically. Because Yakiro is not a stun, AA likes to have a stun in the tri-lane, or 2-1s, and Yakiro is kind of slow and doesn't like utilize AA spells in lane that much. But there's still the threat of that is there. And Rattletrap needs to pick some heroes, and I think they should either pick a position 3 hero or a position 5 hero now. But it's really hard. There's like Clockwork could be good, but it doesn't synergize with Spirit Breaker too much because they do the same thing. It's just that they kind of do it differently, but the main goal of the heroes are the same. So it could be too much of it, but against specifically Yakiro and AA, it's a really good hero actually, and relatively good against Nyx as well.
I mean, at this point, you're Rattletrap. You're expecting perhaps that Nyx Assassin to be an MSS hero. Do you try to just counterpick him? And I was actually gonna say Monkey King, I promise. But it's like, you know, that's like seems like it's the most abusable thing from this DC draft. Like AA, Jakiro, again, they don't really have a lot of control, no stuns there. You can't really abuse that in the fighting scenario. You can abuse the fact, though, that Nyx Assassin should, at least some portions of this game, be off on his own. And if you get a good matchup up against him, I would say Monkey King is definitely a good matchup against that other melee hero. Then Rattletrap, at least will have that going for them. Quite a bit of initiation power now for the Rattletrap side. A good amount of burst as well. But, you know, their lanes do still seem like they're a little bit up in the air until they actually do pick up that last 5th hero with that Spirit Breaker as their support duo. But I'm not really sure who that could possibly be in order to outmuscle Jakiro AA with still that last core being a mystery.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. I think maybe a simple hero like Rubik is the best for them. And they have pretty good lanes so far, potentially. Last game they did lock themselves in the 4th pick though, in my opinion. So I'm hoping they won't do the same here. But this time at least DC is using a lot of reserve time as well, so they might get a bit pressured with their with this pick and the last pick, because Rattletrap had like 2 seconds reserve time for the last pick, and that can impact the final picks a lot, where you don't get to decide really. It's gonna be a Clinks, which I think is kind of like Rattletrap's 4th pick last game. Like it potentially could be great, but it could also be like this huge thing that you're like, oh wait, we have a Clinks who's not doing anything because it doesn't contribute anything in teamfight. You're already lacking teamfight. You have AA, that's good. You have Nyx to kind of initiate, but Jakiro is not a reliable teamfighter. He's not an Earthshaker. He's not a Magnus. And then you pick a Clinks. It's like only a more or less like pure single target damage and split push, and like kind of a weird split pusher. It's not. He doesn't push lanes. He just pushes tower well. So I think you need a really good team fighter on your last pick from DC. And Queen of Pain is gonna be the pick from Rattletrap, which is, I think it's okay. Generally, you know, you have Necro and Queen of Pain versus Nyx. That's not generally how you wanna have it, but it's not a big problem either. So it's just, I think the last picks has to be really good, especially for DC, for them to have like a solid lineup. However, they are the favorite team, so I think they have a bit more leeway in their draft.
Nyx seems like he's going to have a pretty nice time here, matchup-wise, up against Rattletrap, but at the end of the day, it is just an assassin. He can only be in so many places at the same time. DC, with this Clinks pick, are going to look to really just try to split up team fighting, and now a Broodmother for Rattletrap. I mean, that's what I was thinking of earlier when I asked if it was time to cheese. Usually that's going to be...
It's time to pick Timber, I think.
Timber?
Yeah. I think it's a Timber game now. It seems pretty good in my opinion. It's kind of a half-forgotten hero though, and they don't have a lot of time though. I talked about it earlier. Now when a Brood pick comes up like this, you're like, oh, we need a Brood counter right now.
Yeah, you also need to figure out what these lanes are going to be from Rattletrap, because Brood is not a support hero, or not like a real support hero.
Like finding a Brood counter is not the problem. The problem is finding a Brood counter that fits your lineup. You know, that's the issue. And it's like Tide maybe, but It's gonna be Puck. Ooh, that's risky. That's
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like. It doesn't seem like what you would want to pick, right? Is that a player limitation that they are forced to pick this? I feel like it is kind of. I feel like they're not comfortable on playing certain heroes that they maybe wanted to pick, and they picked the Puck. That's how I see it, at least.
We actually have a little bit of a switch up here from the DC side. I mean, you did mention it earlier, but Nick Assassin picked up by Bulba, and he looks pretty crazy with that skin. But with Moon on the Ancient Apparition, it's going to give Young Mojo, MSS, that Jakiro, so a little bit of extra early game power. And Jakiro with Clings, they can bring down towers really, really easily. But on the Rattletrap side, oh man, I didn't actually see who was playing what. Okay, what do we have here? We have the Spirit Breaker support and Lucky. No, it was it Godlike who was playing the support?
No, he was offlaner last game. No, Godlike was the support. Yeah. Monster was the offlaner.
Yeah.
He's the offlaner. So Monster is playing the Brood. Lucky was the carry, so he's playing the Necro. I think I like Rattletrap's lineup a lot, but there is like, you know, you're pretty. I think you're well set up, but there's still a big wall to climb against DC. But I think they are set up to have a better chance this game. They kind of cheese now though. Also, let's not deny that they're actually cheesing with a Brood pick. I lost big Brood.
Yeah. And we are also having another
mid.
further mix-up, from the DC side. Abed is buying a lot of items and then selling a lot of items, and will ultimately decide on this. It doesn't seem like DC are really comfortable with this scenario. Like, they'll throw the Clinks over towards the mid lane, which is, I think, it was going to be a possibility from the get-go. Whenever you pick up this hero, you can just insta-win some matchups. But now Abed is out of his super comfort zone. He's a capable player, so he's going to be able to handle it, obviously. But DC are definitely scrambling for a couple of answers right now. So it seems like this draft of Rattletrap has kind of caught DC off guard, and that's the easiest way to gain a win. Just try to get advantageous lanes and then just play your game and prevent the opponents from playing theirs. They can still push down towers, DC, but I'm not really sure if they'll be able to do it fast enough, considering there's going to be a lot of split push and a lot of aggressive power with these two supports from Rattletrap.
It's going to be very interesting to see how DC solves this issue. They are taking out their comfort zone for sure here. A bit weird that Moor doesn't have any sentries on him. Generally, some Broods, they're like, support, give me 2 sentries, I'll buy 1 myself, and I have 3 sentries for the lane. Like, that's what some Broods do. And this guy has 0, which I think it's a mistake. I think you want to have at least 1, if not 2. We're gonna see if he can play it properly the way. He's in a pretty good matchup, especially if he gets a good first 2 waves. He's gonna be super good setup. Top lane though, Moon
takes a lot of damage up towards top, but it's ultimately going to be just a Primal Spring and a charge in. And hey, look at that, Jakiro does have Dual Breath. Like, he's taking a lot of damage here. He's got to watch out, because Jakiro does a deceptively high amount of damage. It is over time, so you can kind of regenerate with those tangos and balance it out, but they're going to try to muscle down this Jakiro with another charge, with a jump in from Monkey King. That's a fully primed one. He's going to throw another Dual Breath, try to race down for Lucky, but he's going to drop here. First blood on top lane. Lucky does grab the kill. It is only level 1 Death Pulse, but still, with a lot of extra regen, is going to balance that out. And as you said, this bottom lane, I don't really know how well Abed's going to do here. It is really, really tough, even though he may have a sentry. Once Brood gets a couple Spiderlings, Puck is going to really struggle to last hit, really struggle to just survive without throwing out mana.
Yeah, this is gonna be hard for Abed here. It's gonna be a true test. I mean, maybe I feel like there's no way he wins this. It's just maybe it's more on like how good Monster is. You know, if he's super good, Abed is gonna struggle. But if Monster plays mediocre, Abed can kinda lane here. But Brood has not reached even closely to like full peak yet. When he hits 5, this Puck should not be laning anymore. I think that's probably what's gonna happen. And until that point, it might be even.
I'm not really sure what a Puck can do if not lane. Gee, cutting things a little bit close. As
he had a fair fight at least. But
yeah, Mason is just dumpstering this lane.
Oh, Bulba haste. Oh god.
Blink in 4 seconds. But Bulba has 3 armor. He's Nick Assassin. He's gonna burn the rest of the mana. And now you're dead, Quap.
No.
Dead
That
to the
feels so
scuttling
bad.
lobster who's gonna Zoidberg out of there. That sucks, man. You're already losing your lane CS-wise with the 5 versus 17. Now you're gonna die, and oh man.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
That was rough. The worst part is that, like, if he survived that, he would have been pretty set up in lane well, because Mason has 0 mana, so he can actually stand pretty well here. But unfortunately, Bulba got like the only rune that actually made that kill happen. But gonna skyrocket. I guess he's a bit of an exaggeration, but he's doing well in last hits now. But I think he's gonna get bullied out soon. That's kind of what I'm feeling. It's also up to a lot of monsters, because nowadays you can hotkey the spider links differently. There's a top on top, there's like a kill on top lane, but that doesn't matter. If he is micro his spider link properly, they won't die to Abed's nuke, and I think Abed is going down here.
Yep. He has a salve that's not going to help him. And that's the big problem here with Puck, is that you do kind of want to use your nukes to clear out those spiderlings and just try to manage the lane with those two. I mean, he has the soul rank, so he'll have enough mana for it. But once you use your orb, that's a big green light for Broodmother to just dive in. And there's nothing you can do about that because you just used your orb. You're not going to jaunt to it, or else the Broodmother is just going to be able to chase you down, because she's going to have webs where you jaunt to more than likely. Abed is not having an enjoyable time here, although he's getting a lot of these spiderlings killed off. That's only the first goon squad of spiderlings. Now the secondary squad is going to jump in, and Abed, oh, look at this damage. He needs, like, a Vanguard right now. He's going to orb himself out and will live for a little while longer, but Monster is going to deploy another web. Abed is salving, though. He doesn't have a phase shift, but it looks like he should be fine. This is a dominant lane for the Rattletrap bottom side, but the cost is going to be on the other lanes, where the Clinks is crushing the Quap, and the Jakiro is actually having a really good time as well. They've tried to go for him a couple times, and it just hasn't worked out. They're going to go for Mason now, and that could be the way for Rattletrap to lock down another one of these lanes, but Mason is in a pretty defensive position right now. Sees the Spirit Breaker, they can't go for him.
They just don't see any support, I think. Yeah, they don't. They had no clue. If they knew what we knew, they would have killed Mason right there, I think. But I think maybe Spiritbreaker should charge the Puck just to secure the kill. Because I do think if the Brood sees him and maybe just the final lost it, oh, that's a... Oh, what? He didn't see that he didn't yawn? Yeah, oh my god, he got baited. I was like, that's such a good play by Monster. He like sends the hero to finish Brood off, Puck off if he doesn't yaunt. But if he doesn't yaunt, the spider isn't gonna kill him, and then he's like, he messed up.
I think he assumed that the Puck jaunted and then phase shifted, and it's like really hard to see that. They're going deep up towards top lane now for the Necrophos, who is out of mana, is gonna try to teleport out. Right click damage, oh, it's not gonna be enough, and Abed does die in the end. This bottom lane is kind of a disaster area, but
you shouldn't go there anymore, I think.
Yeah,
there's no one else who can do it. That's the real issue, that there's no one else who can do it.
They have a lot of single target. They can they have to just ignore the Broodmother and just try to win everything else. But you ignore the Broodmother and your towers are gonna die. Like every single one of those towers are gonna die.
So this game is probably gonna come down to a lot, like how much of an advantage can Brood take out this. And the hard part is like, what items do you go to make this as efficient as possible? Because there's no one who can stand in lane against you. But Brood nowadays is not a hero that goes high ground at 10 minutes, which he could do before. In another
jump in for Mason, a great coil from Abed. That's a turnaround they need to get Abed back into this game. That'll kill off Godlike. Looking for GGW. Won't have any more crowd control for him. But that's what you gotta do. It seems like the plan was just get Abed a little bit of experience and then just rotate out, let him roam. Maybe put the Jakiro down there, or maybe just have Jakiro stay up here and kill everyone, because there's a lot of damage. Godlike's jumping in, I'm not sure about that.
I think Spiritbreaker sacrificed himself here. I think he realized when he saw those heroes that he's dead.
Follow me, Abed. Someone's got to deal with this bottom lane, though. It is going to be fortified, and yeah, they have a Jakiro themselves and a Clinks. They can take down these towers pretty quick.
Is the best hero to do this. But it's not because it's good, it's like, you know, best out of 5 bad options.
Ooh, it's not gonna kill all the spiders. He's only level 5. Being charged.
This is a bit scary. I think they need another hero on Rattletrap though to make this work.
Mojo does not have any backup right now.
I think it's gonna be a delayed
Spirit
TP
Breaker.
as well.
He is gonna get some help from the Puck, but it's gonna be a little bit too late. Throws out one more Dual Breath, as Puck again is going to come in with the coil, maybe make it a 1-for-1 trade. He does still have a couple more nukes, is going to kill off the Spirit Breaker, this time jaunt out to the orb, and it will be a pretty reasonable trade for both sides, but still top lane, Moon now getting his experience up. It does seem like they absolutely need a finishing blow and an Ice Blast if they're going to kill off this Broodmother.
Yeah, so I think those plays are good for Rattletrap. But the problem is that their other cores are struggling a bit too much, especially the Necrophos. Like it's like really hard. Abbott is not doing great, but compared to Necrophos, he's alright. We're gonna see how DC responds. I think that's the big thing though. Like, if DC responds good against this Brood right now, I think they're gonna take the game. But if they make some mistakes, I think they could straight up lose within 5 minutes. Like, as in, like, not the game actually lose, but the reason they lose is gonna be the next 5 minutes.
He's going, shoots the Queen of Pain twice and drops her to half HP. I mean, it does seem like despite this bottom lane, DC have a lot of good things happening elsewhere. They just have to make sure to get sentries, get some eyes up for that Broodmother, and you know, maybe try to go group up and ignore her to some extent, just to take down a couple towers. But oh, Mojo again, this time with Ice Path, is gonna buy himself a precious second. Is that gonna be enough? Bulba's gonna throw out a Blind Impale, will miss, but kill off a lot of Spiderlings. Mojo's still alive, and with the Puck coming with the coil, they bait in the Broodmother real hard and kill her off. And at the same time, mid lane, Mason. That was so close. Oh, careful. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh my God.
He dead? He's dead. Bro, what are you doing?
Oh God.
Monkey King is gonna plant a tree, then jump. That was pretty cool. But it didn't actually do anything, unfortunately. And they would still be fine because of the Boundless Strike. But, yeah, this is the response you were talking about. And that is a pretty darn good one. I haven't seen that Tango play before, because...
I haven't actually either. And that was... I'm happy I managed to see this game, even if it might be a 2-0 stomp. That was pretty sick, actually. I'm never... Like, it's kind of obvious, though, at the same time. But I never thought about it, really. That's like classic Freeburner plays. Like, it's like obvious, but you never think for it. Oh, that was close as well.
I kind of wish it worked. Like, I kind of want them to get a kill with that, because that would be so cool. Now they're going to go in for the Queen of Pain. Boundless Strike going to give them a couple more seconds, but Queen of Pain actually used a blink already. Takes a lot of damage. Lucky is going to teleport in, has a Scythe, but no one to really scythe down, and he is going to take a lot of damage here. He's going to go into the Ghost Shroud, but takes so much magic damage, he just straight kills himself. Oh, it's a double-edged sword, that Ghost Shroud, and it is going to cut the Necrophos deep as they lose a tower. Mason is going to see Godlike. Oh my God, the damage! Klink's damage. Yeah, it's pretty high, and he doesn't even have any damage items yet.
This is like what's supposed to happen to the team playing as Brood, that they like start tilting and make basic mistakes. Unfortunately, it's his own teammates. And that's one death on Brood. It's like there's no hero where that one death hurt so much than a Brood. Like, you feed Spiderlings, you give away like 400 gold maybe from just the Spiderlings, and then you die and you give like a total amount of maybe 800 to the opponent team. Like, it hurt so much, and you lose all control over the jungle. It took you a good 2 minutes before you got it back.
And as these levels come up on the Jakiro, it'll be easier and easier for at least this one hero to thin out that Spiderling army. A Dual Breath, when it's level 4 with Liquid Fire, I think should be enough to kill off the majority of Spiderlings. But even if they don't kill it off, just landing Liquid Fire on these things makes them do so much less damage because their attack speed just plummets to nothing. How much damage does Dual Breath do? That's a good amount, actually. Not quite 2 for a kill, but they actually kill off Godlike elsewhere. Mason is...
with AA Blast? I think I didn't catch it, but I saw that an AA Blast landed afterwards. I think it was on the trees, but the AA Blast scouted him, so Klings killed him while he was on a tree. I think that's what happened.
Well, they also have this
Bulba.
So it
This
might
is
have
a
just
good
been
bit.
that. There is a courier in the area, including a Monkey King who can disguise as a courier.
Bottom lane, they're baiting now.
Are they? Oh, they are going to find the Impale on the Broodmother with the Macropyre and the Ice Path. Dots? Dots? Is it going to be enough? The Broodmother has a decent amount of regen here, but another Dual Breath should seal the deal. They'll roast her slowly but surely. Did they kill the Spiderlings? They must have. That's a lot of gold.
The games like this, when Brood gets into this position where she dies 2 times straight and it's called like, I don't see comebacks from Broods anymore at this stage. Like I don't think I've seen a comeback. Like this isn't insanely horrible, but when it's a Brood lineup, it is. Like just because of that reason. So I'm gonna see what they're gonna do to try and make this game even remotely close again. But I have trouble seeing this game being a relative chance of winning for Rattletrap.
Oh, there's going to be a charge in. The Impale goes wide from Bulba, but I'm not really sure if that really matters because the Spirit Breaker's out of mana and is, for right now, by himself. He has his backup coming in as the Ice Blast is huge. That will shatter the Spirit Breaker. Scythe and Sonic Wave will kill off the Jakiro in kind of meantime up towards the top river. Godlike, just like 3-shot, oh my god. Yeah, he's dead. Now they're looking for the Necrophos. They may have to battle through the Ghost Shroud. They still have the Coil. Not going to spend it just yet. Lucky's Shroud will go off now. TP coming in, Spirit Breaker. Yeah, that's not a good idea. They decide to save the Coil instead of dropping it on the Necrophos. But it looks like Monster has another plan. I mean, it is very difficult to get back on the horse as Broodmother, but she does have a Hand of Midas, and she is still going to be, for the most part, difficult for just one hero to deal with. So it does seem like they still have to lean on Monster, but what else is going on for these heroes? Queen of Pain is still having an absolutely miserable time, and Necrophos did get the Scythe kill, but not really sure if that's going to be good enough. They also need Monster to not lag.
I think Monster has to take the tier 1s now, somehow. I don't know how, but somehow. And they kind of slowly make it into the game with those objectives. As in, like, if you take the tier 1s, you can get some decent wards. Maybe you can get a Roche. I mean, maybe you can counter a Roche play from DC. And from that, you can start slowly building a game again. Because if you get to late game, you're fine again. Then it's gonna be even. Because Brood is a great late game. Quap is also good. Necro is great. Like they're all good heroes late game. I think maybe late game they're even stronger than DC. But
someone in the chat needs to tell me what this YouTube link is so we can judge Abed. But they will. Oh my god! He just kills off every single Spiderling and is gonna jump in. Dodges the charge. They will drop a sentry and we'll be able to see Monster. Point blank Ice Blast goes off, but they'll still take down the cow. Monster on the run. No dust, should be fine. But I mean, he didn't die there, but he gave away enough Spiderlings to make it to death. And now Gio over in mid lane is not in the Macropyre, I don't think, but it's still gonna be super dead. Was just on the edge, maybe, I don't know. It doesn't do all that much damage anyway. They kill her off, and they get 2 across the map. DC's response to this Brood of, kind of conceding a little bit of that bottom lane, but gain a lot elsewhere, has been working out. And this Broodmother, oh my god, gives another army of Spiderlings over to Abed.
It's pretty hard now for Brood. Like, you're like always feeding away spiders, but you don't have much of a choice at this point. It's really hard. Because Broods, either you get total control over the map, or you have to farm defensively. Like, you can't. This hero is not meant to be played like this in this meta, or in this, like, or how Brood is as a hero right now. Like, she either gets full control or she farms defensively. And now she's trying to do like in between, like kind of farm, skipping waves and stuff, but it's too easy to kill the spiders then.
Going for an Echo Saber as well would be really nice at killing off an AA, but it does seem like everyone else from DC, if they do get jumped by a Brood, will be able to fight back or have some sort of response. So, I mean, usually as Broodmother, you want to be able to kill off some of the enemy supports, at least reasonably well by yourself. But, Abed is gonna snag a courier. Insult to injury. If a Monster, he doesn't have that pickoff power. He only can kill off the AA, and now Ice Blast will come in. They don't know where the Broodmother is. They're gonna light the place up looking for her. And they will dust her as well. Monster is running and is in a little bit of trouble. Can go into the tree still. Nothing is hit yet. And now Moon's actually taking quite a bit of damage, but they will finally find Monster with the right clicks from Mason. You're dead. Moon is going to get a nice ice path to cover him, but it will fade. Moon is surrounded and will die.
Meanwhile, in mid lane, can they kill the puck? No.
Orb out.
Close. That's a good play though. That's a really good play to go for another kill while the others commit for Brood. Like even though it didn't work out, that's how you can make it good even though your Brood is dying. Unfortunately, it didn't work this time.
And the Brood gets something at least. They still have that Scythe. The Necrophos does have a Veil, and the Queen of Pain is building up some items. Maybe in this century she'll have an Orchid. We have another aggressive move now from the DC side. Bulba and MSS will smoke up and will find themselves a Monkey King. Mojo does get revealed. Actually, they're going to pass the Monkey King and find the Necrophos instead. Ice Blast is off the mark, but with the Klink's arrival, they'll shred the Necrophos. No Ghost Shroud is going to save you there. Jump from Jiu, lands a really nice Sonic Wave onto 3. It's not going to do enough, though, because she blinked to get into that position, and they're all fighting in the Macro Pyre as well. Triple kill for Mason. They do dust up, looking for the Brood. They will, yeah, you know, 3-shot, godlike, easy kills, easy life, and also catch the Brood Mother with another Ice Path. Does put up a web, but with all this damage on her, she's not going over this cliff anytime soon. Is just standing still. They drop a sentry. One more shot. No, it's going to be the Dragon to take the kill, and it's a full 5-0 wipe for DC. This game is starting to look a little bit more like game 1.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting a GG call right there when they got fight. Bulba spiked Carapace. It was either the Sonic Wave or Scream of Pain. I don't know which one hit. Actually, he managed to spike, but it was Copious died straight up as well, and Mason is just doing way too much damage. Like, you don't have a response to that. Necrophos, if he got the gold shot off, maybe, but even then, I think they would have lost most of them.
It's almost like it doesn't matter what the... Oh, well, they found...
Oh my god, that was a bit risky, because they were low in pit. Like, if Cop kinda YOLO'd, it could have been a minor comeback right there, but... They don't have anything to catch the puck either. They don't have anything really. Maybe a long range boundless strike into, I mean, that's the issue as well. Like, into what? A charge? Probably not.
Boundless strike is being maxed out here for the Monkey King, but even then, it's only a level 6 hero.
Oh, smoke! This is the let's smoke and take a fight and hope we win it. Otherwise, we call it. I think that's the plan.
Oh, do they have dust? Is revealed by Bulba just on the side. He's gonna jump in, lands a nice impale onto 2. With the follow-up, they'll scythe Abed, but that'll do next to nothing. Will delay the initiation. He is gonna be able to get out of here. Ice Path is coming in. They're fighting a little bit in the Monkey King ultimate, but Mason comes in, just cleans the monkey up in a second. Lucky will get stunned out, giving a double kill to Mason, although I do think Bulba deserves all the kills there. That was, I mean, first of all, just blowing the smoke. That's already a big win there for DC with the Nyx Assassin, but being able to start that off with a 2-man stun, it actually doesn't get much better than that. Mason at this point, I mean, we haven't even been looking at items because it just seems like that hasn't mattered, but he has Desolator up with the Medallion, with extra range to the Dragonlance, BKB now on the way. This Klinks is like actually like 3-shotting everyone. It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, he is very farmed, and you don't... there's no reasonable response to him right now. I mean, I can't finish the game yet alone though, but Yakiro is a good supplement. Mid lane? But it seems like a pretty deep dive. Oh, to blink out before Nether Strike, that was pretty clutch though. If he got that Nether Strike off, I think Bulba would have died.
He didn't have a Spike Carapace to get out of there. Would have had some spells to cast, but Moon being the only hero in the area couldn't have really helped out there. Mason is pushing the bottom lane in the meantime. Something that Rattletrap are just completely ignoring simply because they don't have a good response to. They will see a Jakiro over in the mid lane. Short jump in from Godlike with the Boundless Strike. Oh, this charge is going to be canceled by the Yule Scepter. Now he'll fall straight into an Ice Path. The Impale from Bulba goes wide, but now Mason's going to show up and just start tearing everybody apart. 2 shots here, 3 shots there. A triple kill for the Klinks. Looking for that 4th. And, well, no, not quite. Was that Abed's Yules to try to get that kill? It was. Does it matter? No, not at all. But, you know, that's really mean of Abed. Should play nice. He got all the kills in the last game.
Yeah, I mean, Abed got a rampage last game, so he can't allow anyone else to get anything close to that this game. But I'm pretty surprised during GGing. It felt like that they smoked earlier for our last play. I mean, you're not making a comeback with this kind of a lineup. It's definitely not a comeback lineup. It's a snowball lineup. And Mason is gonna start doing some damage mid. Akiro is a bit too low though, unfortunately, for him to really help out.
Doesn't seem like they really care. I mean, just committing Mason up to the high ground, that's a good amount of gold for Abed, as it's like the 5th army of Spiderlings that he's killed. But Mason has the Aegis, so just put that guy in the high ground and force Rattletrap to come to him. Come at me, bro. So far, no bros coming at him. They will jump in with Godlike, but that might just kill off the Monkey King as he's gonna die in 3 shots. They'll sight the Aegis off of Mason, but at what cost? Lucky will get hit with the Ice Blast. Will be able to back off successfully as Monster is actually stuck on the low ground right now. They'll coil him there, so he has to stick around. With the Macro Pyre, the damage isn't quite enough. Jump forward from Abed and will be enough. Ice Path lands onto 2 on the high ground. That was, I think, blind from Mojo. Pretty sick. Another orb in. And with the right clicks, they'll kill off the cow. Looking for the spooky Ghost Man. Abed's now going to use the Yule Scepter in the way you're supposed to use it, to set up kills, not to deny kills to your allies. And will be another one. He gets the triple. Abed is not, though, going to go for the... Oh, well, he's going to buy back and maybe start to think about getting that 2 consecutive rampages, but I don't really know if he can get here in time. Mason's still got his eyes on the prize. He's going to take down yet another lane of racks, or at least the melee racks. He's already dealt with mid. Godlike, bro, he's just going to suicide. They're trying, man. Oh, they're trying. And they may be able to get Moon. They also get a couple supports, but they cannot kill Mason. It's like an impossibility right now. This is just all over.
They got to the final things they could get. They're not calling it though. I'm pretty surprised. I mean, this game is over. They realize it themselves. They just want to have a bit of fun and kill the supports. And like that. Yeah, Bull got a big KP, I guess. Did he sell stuff? Or did he have this little...
He was building... I don't think he actually got anything towards his Echo Saber, so he just like went for BKB anyway with that Ogre Club. And Mason, will he ever die? Yes, he will. They got him. Is this the start of a beautiful comeback?
This is DC being quote-unquote sloppy.
I mean, Abed's literally just turning around in circles in the enemy base. Like, he bought back, and he's just playing games with them at this point. Nether Strike, Lincoln Sphere, lol. He is actually silenced. He can remove that with the Yule Scepter. He will dodge the charge and the dagger. Blink out. Abed's just having fun, man. Maybe a little bit too much fun? Never mind. No, not too much fun. Maybe too much fun. He has no more tools. He needs 1 second phase shift. Oh, it's canceled by the Orchid. What a throw. No, I'm still not sure what the hell Rattletrap can do here.
I mean, it's looking better than last game, I guess. Somehow. Maybe not. Yep, won't snipe anyone. They can kill shrines now. Roche is far up. I am assuming they're just gonna go for another racked play or take a team fight in Rattletrap's base. They have to wait a minute though. Unless they feel like maybe throwing the game. Hope got a Shadow Blade.
Dire's top shrine is under attack.
That's a way to initiate on a puck. Just kind of surprise the puck.
Oh, that was really funny. I think DC may, Boba may. Oh, they have a sentinel. Oh, he got a gem. Oh, he got a gem on. Oh, he got Moon gem on Monkey King.
Yeah, there was a gem floating around that bottom lane. Moon grabbed it and then died. So they give over a gem. Bulba is going to give over his life, and the shrine will actually still survive as the rest of DC kind of spread out, not seriously looking for it. Clinks, though, does have a Diffusal Blade, so they're going to set up for the Necrophos, immediately purge off that Ghost Shroud. In just a couple shots, Mason's going to get 1 kill. They also freeze the Monkey King in place. With the Cold Feet, they should be able to get that one if they just land 1 more attack. Sonic Wave goes onto Mojo, and he may die here, but they're focusing on the hero that really matters. It's Mason. Will get... Oh, the Lincoln Sphere blocks the Nether Strike. Still has to deal with this Broodmother right on top of him. The dust is starting to fade, and Monster with his BKB first build doesn't actually do that much damage. Now is not invis. Will get faded back by Mason. And the Jakiro actually lives. What the hell?
Yeah, he managed to get out a nice Yules to dodge a Scream of Pain. And that's gonna be game. I mean, I think it's a nice draw. A nice attempt from a Rattletrap, but there was too much difference in the player's individual skill.
Yeah, I And they tried their best, and you're going up against DC. As you said, the gap here was pretty evident. They did have a really nice curveball, though. I really like how they busted out that Broodmother, and you could tell DC were thrown off judging by their itemization, where they put their heroes, and just by the fact that DC last banned a Disruptor, and then Brood was the pick. Like, that's such a huge disconnect that Rattletrap definitely got them there as far as the surprise is concerned, but ultimately just not going to be enough. It's very easy to do well as a Broodmother in this game, but it's not easy to win the game for your teammates. So Rattletrap are going to drop down to the lower bracket, and DC will push on. Complexity VGJ Storm is being played right now, and that's going to be the matchup in the future. But for right now, I think we're just going to have to wait forever for the next match. I don't know if we're going to have a rolling schedule. I have no idea. I'll try to figure that out for you guys. But either way, the next match is going to be Team Immortals versus Pikachu Blue. And that's going to be happening, assuming we stay on schedule, in, God, an hour and 15 minutes. Feels bad, man. But guys, I'm Mike Loris. I've been joined by Kefka. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. If you did, stick around or go somewhere else and watch more Dota. Then come back in an hour 15. And follow us on Twitter as well, at Mike Loris for myself, at Kefka Dota for my co-caster. And we'll see you guys in an hour and 15. Oh, it's such a long break.